It was a beautiful morning in Philadelphia. Filled with hustling people and honking cars. Street music, really. Over a series of such days, safety professionals from around the world gathered for a U.S. safety conference. Our MP Media team attended the expo, seeking out industry trends. We were looking for ideas on workforce safety, culture, leadership, and training. And then later, back at their respective desks, Carl and Greg discussed what we learned.
Of course, the buzzword was culture everywhere in the conference.
Across Broad Street from the expo, we were drawn to the striking form of a crashed airplane being installed between buildings as we watched. We learned that a greenhouse was being placed within its fuselage. After gathering in its shadow several times, the sculptor suggested that we find a connection between messages in the conference and his artistic intent.
A management team could take this metaphor and say that the airplane is structure and violation.
We think of conflict as being something we have to eliminate. But in fact, those oftentimes can become the incubator for new understanding. And so that plane could be a symbol of the fact that if we can take initiatives that don't play well or that went drastically wrong, and if we have the capacity to engage in conversation with each other about what went wrong and about why there's the pushback and so on, we have the opportunity to create new life or new meaning, new depth to our understandings. We may end up rewriting the structure in some way that's been imposed, or we may end up, the person who's pushing back will hopefully end up with more understanding of why this is important.
The airplane ultimately spoke. Its form was a safety incident, and its green cargo the manager's quest. Out of the inevitable safety incident, a coaching opportunity always persists. This nugget is also present in procedural violation, a tool for continuous improvement. Structure, violation, then coaching. From the ashes, a reason to believe we can prevent recurrence. Have you seen this sign at the plant gate, displaying how many days the site has been incident-free? Different expo presentations cast the familiar journey to zero as both a positive and a negative goal. So which is it? Is it helpful to declare that a facility is 15 days since the last injury?
The journey to zero is a valid public statement of the company's caring for the individual. Outward directed, not inward directed to the plant people. But it's interesting that it's placed in the gate of the plant so that all the employees that enter see it, right? As opposed to downtown, where the public sees it, right? I've got this real estate that all my employees see when they come into the plant gates, right? Is it appropriate for them to see that there? But what do we replace at the gate that message with? What do we say to our individuals as they enter the plant? What do we say to them that's useful for them to take into the plant and into their job individually?
We decided that touting injury-free days had limited utility. On one hand, it was a good way to send an outbound message about the company's concern for its employees, and it was an appropriate target for management to design process around. But it should not be projected inward as an instructional tool for line workers. They need to tally up more granular evidence of achievable routine actions. We laughed at video presentations of people walking into water fountains, and we howled at the idea of the invisible gorilla. It was not comforting to see how well-rested individuals could look at an activity and not see a glaring anomaly, simply because their brain was not expecting to see it. Knowing that human error is the cause of many safety incidents, we frowned at recent evidence that it is increasing. Information overload, Multitasking, fatigue, and lack of focus are all part of our new social fabric.
We also have to be alert to the fact that there's a lot going on in the social arena, the cultural arena, that interfaces with those structures, those regulations, and we need to develop an increased capacity to pay attention to relationships, initiatives, technological initiatives, for example, very often fly or don't fly based on the strength of relationships between the people in the company. So it seems to me that leadership certainly sets vision, but it doesn't do that in a one-directional way. It does that in relationship with other people who are going to be impacted by those leadership decisions.
It was comforting to learn that it is good business to nurture the well-being of employees. Exercise, diet, sleep, fun, and family time are legitimate things for a company to promote. These all ward off a common killer: distraction. Sustainable safety programs function best with healthy, happy people. In Philly, we learned where to look for coaching opportunities, thanks to our airplane sculptor. And we learned that safety programs need to provide objectives that are achievable by line workers, not simply yardsticks for executives. We have been given a green light to spend money on helping workers live healthy lifestyles.
The ability to listen to learn is a priority skill for the leader. If we are going to be viewed as leaders with credibility, we have to be able to receive feedback as well as give it. Because if the other person is just supposed to take it, Martin Buber said a long time ago, that makes them a non-person.
When leadership creates a culture of trust, open dialogue, and refinement, employees will benefit, and so will productivity and safety. The manager's challenge is to find ways for the continuous improvement mindset to be carried over the company fence and into each employee's other life. Workers must have rules that they believe in, out of the plant and into the streets.